What did you shut up? What did you do? What did you do? Shut up!
I did it.
Shut up! I hate liars! You know I hate liars! Shut up! Get out of here! Shut up! Shut up! Get out of here! Somebody give me a microphone!
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of PTW. That's Poor Taste Wrestling. I am JJ Jaw Van Dam Travers, and I'm joined tonight, as always, by Mike the Wolverine Purcell and Pat the Hardcore Kid Ross. Tonight's very special, and not just because we're talking about AEW All Out, but because there's a surprise return to Poor Taste Wrestling. It's been over a year, but our former NXT expert, our current really good friend, really good husband and father, and just an all-around great guy, Trever Smith, has returned to the show tonight.
You're damn right. Here I am. Yeah. You know it. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you
Nicole
for having
heard
me back.
and she's in our bedroom right now screaming. So she's really excited, too.
Awesome.
Just wooing.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, fucking Trever.
Trevor, what's your wrestling name? Because we all have our gimmick names here. What's yours?
Honestly, I just found a box in my garage again with our Backyard Wrestling SummerSlam 98 wrestling card, and I was billed as Trever Lionheart Smith. So it is official. I had a very creative 1998 wrestling name.
It's official that you really are the world's biggest Chris Jericho, Mark.
That it could be up for debate. Unfortunately, we can get to that when we talk about AEW. But Jesus Christ, man, that guy is really testing my love for him.
Hey, maybe when we go to AEW's second ever TV taping, you can confront him and talk about your issues.
I know. I might not be a Jerichoholic anymore after 20 odd years.
Maybe you'll end up being his manager after that conversation.
I don't think I like Fozzy enough for that.
I could actually see that. I could see you coming out with like 8 guitars strapped to you and like a push cart with like the guitars you're currently working on it.
Nice.
Leading Jericho down to the ring.
Yeah.
Just reprise the roadie gimmick for Chris Jericho.
Oh, he deserves it.
It would actually be perfect with his Fozzy roots.
He's gonna be a good champion. I'm pretty sure he's gonna look like a badass with that belt on him when we are all there on October 9th at the Aggenis Arena. For those who are not local to the area, the Aggenis Arena. What is it, Agganis Arena?
It's Agganis, yeah.
It depends are you Northern or Lower Alston? Come on. It's fucking Agganis Arena. Agganis? What side am I on this? Anyways.
For those of you listening, it's the Boston University Arena. It's the location of AEW's second ever TV taping. If you listened last week, you'll know that I somehow miraculously got the 4 of us and 2 of our other friends really good seats for it. I still don't know how I managed it, but we're all pretty excited.
I was smiling so hard listening to that part of the podcast last week. I was like, I'm at work like giggling with joy because I can't believe. I mean, that shit's gonna be crazy. No matter what it is, it's gonna be a blast. We're gonna have so much fun.
Yeah, I think the Lord Ric Flair was on your side that night.
Yeah, he must have been because it was a miracle. But either way. Trevor, we haven't seen you in a while, buddy. How are you? How you been?
I'm all right, man. Since we last talked, I bought a house. I've moved to Rockland. I've been doing the real domesticated thing. Shortly after,
went into the woods for a little while, right?
Yeah. Well, and even shortly thereafter, moving into this house was when I cut my cord to the WWE Network, and it's been a really difficult time because I still really like wrestling and I still do, I've gotten much more into following the product recently because it's getting fucking good again because it's starting to really get good. I mean, even the bullshit of Roman Reigns whodunit, it's so dumb, but I appreciate that it's been going on for 5 weeks. I actually really like that when they show, 3 weeks ago and 2 weeks ago, and it's like, yeah, this has been a slow build like an NXT thing. This is the shit that we like on NXT.
I just like that nobody even thought to check the tapes for some reason.
Well,
who would have thought to look at the tapes to see who'd done it?
I don't like the substance of this whodunit, but I like the approach of it, and I like what it seems to represent.
I still don't think it's Rowan.
Well, see, I mean, that that plot hole doesn't matter because they're actually entertaining people with this. If they weren't, people would be picking it apart, and that would be something that we would see everyone shouting.
True.
But somehow, miraculously, this is so dumb that it's awesome.
It's pro wrestling.
Who on their bingo cards this time 1 year ago had Daniel Bryan penciled in as a coked out paranoid mob boss? Because I sure didn't, but I love it.
It is true. I mean, those slaps were fucking ridiculous. He slapped the shit. He lit up Eric
Those
Rowan.
slaps, man.
Yeah, and like the last one, it just looked like he just hit him like straight in the fucking nose.
I feel like he's got a
was
receipt
uncomfortable.
coming for that one. Oh, man.
Trevor, have you? I mean, I know you cut the cord, but have you been keeping up on NXT? You must have heard about. You listen to the pod. You know it's going 2 hours. So I'm curious. Being
I do.
former Mr. NXT, like, what are your thoughts on the 2 hours?
So
live.
Here, the cynicism that took over me, especially with between the Saudi thing, but then also between, I don't know, since Finn Balor for every high quality NXT call up being completely fucking ruined. I mean, I tried to watch a Bayley match last night and was like, she used to be amazing, and this fucking crowd doesn't care about her. I don't care about her.
That's stunk.
So what I'm getting at is that NXT almost now has this Pavlovian response for me where I'm like, I don't want to watch it. I don't want to love Adam Cole. I don't want to love Matt Riddle because I don't want to see what the fuck. I do not want to see what happens to Velveteen Dream when he goes to SmackDown and Vince McMahon is just like, he's the dude from Mannequin and we're going to go really gay with it. And it's just like, oh my God. Like,
Really good.
so it has become the thing where like they're like my secret crush that I still kind of like keep up with, even though I don't follow NXT because I don't really want to know. I mean, hearing you guys talk about Fandango, Breezango again, I'm like, oh my God, I want to watch fucking Tyler Breeze in NXT. So I've become torn on the whole thing. Unfortunately, I think the first, several months of Wednesdays is going to be live anyways, devoted to AEW.
Yeah.
Just to try to
that's
give
what's
those
tough
dudes
about
a
it.
push. Like, fuck WWE. They don't need my money. They don't need my... you know what I mean? Like, Fox and USA are already paying them all the money. They don't need my money.
Yeah, and on that point, because I'm going to be the same way. I'm going to have to watch AEW. I mean, WWE gets my Monday and Tuesday nights already. They're not getting Wednesday with AEW being in the same spot. But do we know, is NXT going to be like Hulu where it's available the following morning?
I believe so, on Hulu, yeah. And they even said that, because you still have the WWE network, JJ.
Yeah.
It's going to be on the network the next morning too, so it's not like a Raw
That's good.
SmackDown situation where it's delayed on the network.
And for what it's worth, though, that it has been on Hulu the entire time. NXT is a show
Yeah,
you can
dating
watch
back
on
to,
Hulu.
like, before the network.
But
sure.
it
I
is
had no
currently...
idea.
Or when it aired on the network, something like that.
No, I mean, I pay for Hulu with no commercials. It's on there. I can watch Raw, SmackDown, and NXT with no commercials on Hulu.
No, he means like did NXT start on Hulu or did it start on
no.
the
It was
network?
on the network. But I mean, I'm just saying, like Raw and SmackDown, it's available on Hulu already, which is kind of weird to me. That it exists on a platform outside. That's true. That's a shoot, brothers. I've watched it on there. It's weird.
Yeah, no, it's true, and it did start on Hulu before the network.
Really? Oh.
It was on Hulu in starting in 2012, and the network didn't launch till 2014.
Oh, wow.
Holy shit, really?
So the first ever show on the network, if I remember correctly, the first live show was the first Takeover, which was a Rival, I think it was called. But that was the first pay-per-view for NXT, not the first show.
Man,
I
your
feel like
wrestling
I'm-
knowledge never ceases to amaze me.
Yeah, it just kind of like blew my mind a little bit. And I don't know how none of us ever knew that.
Guys, that's a classic Pat Guy Greg.
Pat Guy Greg.
Pat Guy Greg. Yeah, thank you.
I remember watching it. That was back when Sasha Banks was teamed with Summer Rae. They were feuding with Charlotte.
Wow.
They were the BFFs.
Oh, Summer Rae. There's a face I miss.
Well, so anyways, yeah, but to the point of NXT, it is that thing. Like, I feel like when I broke up with the WWE network, like, that was a part of it for me, and I just can't. But it really is the call-up thing. It's how misused everybody is. I can't. It's so hard to explain. like some people will get over in spite of it. Samoa Joe was Samoa Joe beforehand, and he's gonna just fucking walk through WWE, and he's awesome. But like, some people aren't gonna make it. It's not gonna work.
Well, I'm curious now that NXT is on for 2 hours.
That's
and it's
true.
Live,
No, yeah.
Is it even going to be a call-up system anymore? Because it's pretty much they're pretty much saying like you are the third brand now. It's kind of like what happened with ECW. So I don't like. I said this last week when we talked about it. I would hope to see people go like quote,
Lateral.
yeah, like
Well,
down,
isn't
aka
Cesaro
over
going
to
over
it.
to the UK NXT, or was that just like a one match thing?
From what I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
that's something I was going to get to, but before we do, like, I think I said this last week, Trevor, but I would like to see people like Kevin Owens like go wrestle with Undisputed Era and
Yes.
watch Daniel Bryan and Adam Cole duke it out, or like watch Velveteen Dream have a match with like Finn Balor or the Fiend. There's just like so many people between the two brands that would have amazing matches.
Well, and just as I think it's clear who's going to win this tag team tournament and win the belts, the tag team belts soon, which is a really weird pairing. But I was going to say that Dolph Ziggler would be like a fit candidate to go be a big fish in a small pond and fucking rule NXT. Like, he could be amazing there.
Yeah, but he's probably too established to go to NXT at this point. Like, he's just been around for too long.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, no, I think I feel like him and Bobby Roode are going to become some sort of new age outlaw type of.
Did you see that? Did you see those matches?
Yes.
That was like unexpectedly delightful. Like,
Yes.
where the fuck did that come from?
Yes.
I actually really like that tag team too.
Yeah.
If they actually put some work into that and like make them a like cohesive team, like that could be it could be like a situation just like The Bar, like two guys that I did not care to see together, but it just like somehow works.
They're very parallel to each other. They're very, yeah. They've kind of even had similar careers in a lot of ways, and
Just wasted potential and like broken pushes.
yeah, and a lot of fucking hard work, and a lot like we've all rooted for them. Multiple times we've all been like, yeah, Dolph Ziggler, and then it's just like, oh fuck, Dolph
Just
Ziggler.
broken hearts.
Yeah.
They got us again.
Yep. Well,
Yeah, so Cesaro and NXT UK, I mean, they have to set him up in a program with Walter, right? Like, there's no way they won't do that.
dude, that's gonna be
Well,
amazing.
I think that is the match, isn't it? I thought he was going there to face Walter.
I have no idea about any match details. I just heard he got his braces off, and that's how he's celebrating.
He finally officially doesn't have braces.
I thought he took his braces off a while ago.
He just
No.
he'll just always wear a mouth guard because he's terrified.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you be if you got your
Yes.
front teeth knocked out?
Dude, that shit was gross. That was so gross. That was
Well, he didn't get him knocked out.
no,
They
he got him
pushed
jammed up.
Oh, they
up.
get pushed
Yeah,
up.
yeah, that's even worse.
Yeah,
Like,
way worse. Ugh.
that honestly might be one of the most gruesome wrestling bumps that I've ever seen.
Yo, because he wrestled 10 more minutes afterwards.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah, he finished the match.
That shit was amazing. I mean, that's when he officially was my guy. I loved him.
Well, that's when he was officially like, I have bigger balls than everyone in this company.
Yeah.
Like, step up.
For sure.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how people move around and how they handle that. If it's going to still be a tradition of call-ups, or if they're going to put, Raw and SmackDown talent on NXT and move NXT talent to Raw and SmackDown. Either way, Wednesday Night Wars is going to rule, and I can't wait to see the effects it has on both companies.
One last thing. My real fear, though, is that of all of it, NXT is going to be amazing. It's going to be exactly what we always wanted it to be, where it's like an hour
It's going to be great.
an hour's always over before you know it, and I bet you 2 hours is going to fly by the same amount as fast, and I'm going to be like, fuck, I can't watch both of these at the same time, but it already feels, who knows? AEW could completely fuck it up, and we're just all,
I mean, we should get into it because they've had some pretty big moments just in the past week.
For at least like 2 months, I think NXT is going to be an insane blow away crazy show because it just has to be.
I think Meltzer was saying like, the first couple episodes are going to be good, but like that first episode where AEW is launching is just going to be phenomenal, which makes sense. Like they're going to just pull out all the stops for that episode.
Oh yeah, no question.
And I don't necessarily see this in the notes, and I don't want to jump too far ahead, but the Hell in a Cell is what, October? It's right around there, October 6th? No, it's just after the debut of SmackDown is when Hell in a Cell is the pay-per-view.
It's October 6th. It's that same, wow, yeah, so it's the week after
and
SmackDown debuts.
Have you heard the local promotion about that?
Yeah.
My point being
the
that
Fiend.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that
For
they're
the Universal title.
but they're saying against
For the Universal title.
either Seth Rollins or Braun Strowman, which usually they'd be like against Seth Rollins, and then it's like, yeah, that's a dark match, but like they're kind of keeping it
Right.
like it's real. And like,
and,
oh no!
And Bray Wyatt even responded on Twitter. He
That's
like,
right.
said something about it.
So I'm just saying, like WWE seems to be taking it all seriously and delivering because they're capable of delivering. And this whole thing is gonna, like, our heads are gonna explode. It's gonna be awesome. I mean, no matter
I can't
what,
wait.
yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
I was saying the same thing last week, but I mean, it's going to be hard to choose between the two shows, but I think that's part of the fun. It just brings back
Yeah.
like the channel surfing days
Switching
of like,
between the two.
yeah, like, okay, Raw's in a commercial, time to go see what the NWO is up to. Like, I used to do that every single Monday as a teenager.
And I'd like to say I'm not going to do that, but I know I'm going to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, are we ready?
I think so.
Do it.
Thanks.
So, I mean, before we break down the card here, we have to start with the biggest news to come out of AEW, and that is Jon Moxley getting pulled from the card because his elbow injury has flared up again, and he has freaking Mercer, which, is a staph infection, but is also incredibly serious and can kill you. So huge bummer across the board, obviously, because he's not going to be at All Out, and this match has had such a good build. But more concerning that he has like a potentially life-threatening injury right now.
He did say that the recovery is going to be pretty quick, though.
4
Okay,
weeks.
that was my question, yeah.
Yeah, he said he's going to be good to go for the TV show.
Yes.
Oh, so we might actually see him.
Yes.
I'm fully expecting to still see the match that he's supposed to have against Sean Spears in Boston.
Yes, we'll see him active. I mean, that's the idea.
You know what's pretty cool about this too is that as much as I want to see this, they did such a good job with how they handled it by like surprising Kenny with the news, cutting, and then him cutting that brutal promo on Moxley.
Dude.
I was just gonna say, like, because you were saying that this had such a good build and it's so disappointing, but if anything, this has like really heightened the build for me. That Kenny promo was sick.
Yes, that has been the best Kenny Omega that I've seen since AEW's been announced. He's been just like a total dildo to me the whole time. It's been such a bummer. I've been really just like, this is the guy? Like, I've watched his matches. I've seen the things that he says, and he's just like, thank you, good night, bang, bang. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, not even bang bang, boing boing,
Boing, yeah.
Piggity poppity.
But this, I mean, it really was done so perfectly, the way that he got interrupted and they're like, oh, do you want to have a few minutes? No, let's just talk. We're all set up. We should talk about this. I was like, oh, brother. Yeah,
Do you think that was a shoot?
it fit. Oh, man, I
A
very
little bit,
want to
probably.
believe
it
that
probably
it's a
came
shoot.
from the heart.
Yeah. No, I think he's a good work. I think he's a good
No,
worker.
but I mean, do you think like that's actually when he found out?
Oh, God, I wish.
I can't imagine that they would surprise him like that. I mean, he's what? Like, isn't he like I don't know what his title is, but he's pretty high up there, right? So, like, I'm sure any news is
He's
coming
one of
directly
the
to him.
17.
He has an
EVPs
E
that-
in front of
One
his
the
title.
17.
Yeah. But it was, yeah, even that thing is like, Cody, he didn't call me. Hold on, give me a minute. Like, being really,
You don't, Muff, you don't think that of all people, Kenny Omega would be like totally behind them doing that? And like after the fact,
surprising him?
Yeah, you don't see him afterwards being like, that was such a good way to handle that. Like that helped me like really get into it and cut a good promo.
I think as a business person, I don't know. It's a tough call because
he's not a business person though.
Yeah, but even just like being like supposedly being a part, like a head of a company or like being in that position, like you would probably want things to get like passed by you.
Yeah, but so here I feel like it's a totally plausible situation that they were filming the promo for this weekend, and then that's when they found out, and they were like, oh, actually, shut this down. We don't need this anymore because we just found out that Moxley's hurt.
Yeah, maybe he just went into like his actual and into that promo that he cut. Yeah, that could be it.
Right, exactly.
I guess
And
the
just,
only
like,
part,
let it off his
yeah,
chest.
the only part that gives me pause is like him referencing a tweet, but maybe he was just like suggesting, like imagining like, oh, because everybody will just tweet like, oh, I can't do the match, sorry. But like,
well, yeah, because even when it first happened, like he was searching through his phone and he said something like, I don't have a lot to go on right now, but
oh yeah, all right, yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I thought he was using his phone just to call Cody to be like, is this true?
Well, I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I interpreted it as like him saying like people either telling him stuff or like what social media was saying.
I gotcha.
But either way, huge loss, but could it have been handled better than it was by Omega?
No, Kenny fucking nailed it. Hold on, the one part though that I don't like is it didn't seem like, and it's not with Kenny, but the next part after that, they just show the picture that says Pac and Kenny Omega. Like they didn't even, oh, you know who I think we could get? And then it's just that, and like you got the guy that bailed on the first event, that it was a whole big deal.
I don't know, that made me laugh. Like I thought it was pretty funny how they just sort of like, oh, we're going to build into it. And then they're just like, Pac, Kenny Omega.
Yeah. I don't think they can really like delay that at all, because I think that's like a pivotal moment where they need to like let their audience and their investors and everybody know like, no, we've got this covered. Like we have a backup and a replacement.
Yeah, and he's going right back to Dragon's Gate. Is that who he wrestles for?
Yeah, Dragon Gate.
Yeah, he's going right back to that.
It's funny how this is now the second time that AEW's had to like kind of think on their feet at the very last moment, like at the 11th hour because of a match change up. And the first time it was because of Pac, and now Pac comes in as the savior for the second time.
Yeah, good call.
And this was the match that like was originally supposed to be for the title, right? As if the rumors are true, is that it was supposed to be Kenny and Pac for the AEW championship. So like we're kind of getting the match that we should have gotten all along.
No, it was supposed to be Pac and Hangman to see.
Oh, maybe you're right. Yeah,
who goes on to face Jericho.
Or the winner of Jericho and...
Yeah, well, because it was Jericho and Kenny, and then Kenny was supposedly going over, and then it was kind of a surprise when Jericho went over.
I did like how they handled it, though, with the Bucks at the table being like, man, running a company is hard. Like, this is a hard job.
Yeah.
and like, tossing around
I like
ideas.
the way that they handled it there. They did kind of do the thing where they're like, what are we going to do? Like, who are we going to get? Just start rattling off names. And they brought up, like, Ibushi and they brought up Marty, and they were like, nah, he may as well be dead to us. And then Cody started to say something, and like Matt was like, no, I know what you're going to say, and no flip.
So, yeah, I think they turned a negative into a very big positive. Like, there was an amazing promo from Omega, which I think kind of like rejuvenated like him with a lot of people, like Trever for one.
Big time.
And it just... I feel like it builds more anticipation for this. Like, All Out is still going to be fucking great. Like, Pac and Omega are going to have a crazy match. And, like, if anything, this just gives them an even bigger match to have on one of their TV tapings now.
Yeah, and if anything, it helps. Like, it almost helps Moxley because his character is, like, this chaotic, like, you never know what's going to happen next. So going into the TNT show, I think it's actually huge because it can raise that speculation, like, when's Moxley gonna debut, what's he gonna do, is he healthy?
Yeah, I there's the other little part where I'm just like, why are you being irresponsible and taking stupid indie dates and getting yourself hurt before all of this shit goes on? Like,
a little too much too soon.
I know he's getting his rocks off because he's been a pent up tiger in a cage for 5 years. What did he say? Smashing cream pies in my face. Like, oh my god.
It's like Kenny's been this wrestling god, just like mythologized about, and I'm throwing cream pies in people's faces.
Oh shit!
But to your point, Trevor, too, like I feel the exact same way. Like since AEW started, Kenny has not been the just like the mythical best bout machine that he was in New Japan.
No,
and of course, he's only had a couple chances to show what he can do, but it just like I don't know what it is. It just comes off as almost disingenuous now that they're all kind of running the company. It's like we have 4 Triple H's out there, and and that's a problem with Triple H's character, that he has to wear pretty much 2 hats at the same time, because like cause even in kayfabe he's the boss, and he's pulling all the strings, and it's the same problem with the Elite right now, where they're trying to sell these matches as their wrestling characters, but at the same time, we know, and we're supposed to know within kayfabe, that they're like booking these matches too. So it's just like this kind of awkward dichotomy.
Yeah.
The other thing about it is, like, Kenny has been with New Japan and over there for how many years now? Long enough to be a naturalized citizen and fluently speak the language. So I also feel like he's kind of like a bit of a fish out of water. Like, he's in a brand new environment where it's not comfortable and it's not familiar. Like, this is a whole new thing for everybody, and Kenny just strikes me as kind of like an awkward person outside of the ring. So I can't imagine what it's like to be in a leadership role within the company, be taking on the biggest show in town, be expected to be a great character and a great wrestler. Like, that's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of hats.
You got to remember, like, the legacy that he built. Like, he built that in Japan, and like it was very specific to the Japanese crowd. And like, him going in there and actually learning Japanese and like dropping that on them, like that was like a big moment for him in his career in Japan. But that kind of stuff doesn't necessarily translate to the American audience.
No, the John Cena of Japan doesn't turn into the John Cena for AEW.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he definitely is like a total sweetheart as far as, I don't know. He put in a lot of really, really good time, and he's a good hand. I'll tell you that much.
He could go places, that kid.
Yeah, that kid.
All right, so with Pac versus Omega, the last time Pac was going to be here, he wasn't here because he was supposed to lose. And we know that because of the Dragon Gate contract. So it almost feels like it would be too obvious for him to lose. But then at the same time, you could make the argument that it's too obvious that he would win.
Yeah, what's different a year and a half or whatever later?
Yeah, like that contract stipulation isn't there, but I feel like either way you look at it, it could be looked at as like being the obvious choice based on what happened last time. So what do you guys think?
I mean, I think he's going to lose, but this might be one of those matches where he loses via shenanigans. Or, I mean, all right, so either Pac loses because he just kind of, goes off his rocker and does something to get himself disqualified, or maybe we get Moxley or something of an interference to cause Kenny Omega to lose. I feel like this is going to be, no matter what, this is going to be one of those matches that ends with fuckery.
Yeah, I don't think Mox is going to be a part of it. I think that it's just, I bet these guys are going to be, they're just going to put on a crazy fucking show, and hopefully Pac does the right thing, but I have a feeling Kenny's going to he's going to be a company guy, and he's going to take the L. And in a company where wins and losses matter, he seems to be getting the shit end of the stick. The worst. What was his match at Fight for the Fallen? Was that the tag team, the triple tag?
No, it was him versus
the Chinese wrestler. Was that?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And did Kenny win?
Sema,
thank you. And did Kenny win that one?
He did.
But he lost to Jericho, so he's 1-1.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, the normal booking would say that Pac is not he's not going to be there next week, so he should put the other guy over, but I don't know. I feel like Kenny Omega is just going to do the job because it's going to be a good show, and yeah, that is my guess. Kenny Omega is going to lose, and Pac is going to win.
Yeah, I'm kind of not sold either way. If wins and losses are truly going to matter, like AEW says, then Yeah, the logical train of thought would be that Kenny wins because he is supposed to be one of the best wrestlers on the planet. And just like you said...
Sorry to interrupt you, Pat, really quick, but I just want to add to your point. Jericho called him in the last episode of Road to All Out the best wrestler in the world.
He gets 6-star matches though, but he's not he hasn't presented himself as that guy in AEW yet, and I think it's going to be a good show. Personally, I don't think whoever wins or loses this match matters. I think this match is going to be awesome, like, you know, when WWE fixed the the problem and made Kurt Angle a member of the Shield for that time.
Oh God, I tried to erase that from my memory.
I'm
Just
sorry,
the
but
big ass smile on Kurt Angle's face as he walks down.
moving his upper torso to look at all the fans. Poor guy. No disrespect to Kurt Angle.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Pac.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, yeah, it just seems like. I don't know. Again, I just don't think that it matters. I think that it's going to be a fucking rad match, and, you know, whatever. It's that thing where it's coming out of nowhere. What was it? Finn Balor and AJ? Didn't they do a crazy? Who was the dream match that they put together for that Survivor Series too? It was AJ and somebody.
It was AJ and
AJ
Finn.
and Brock. No.
Oh yeah. The AJ Finn match was like a month before. Or
Yeah.
something. Yeah. It was like the 2 world champs.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
and that
when
match
they,
was awesome.
when they pull out when WWE pulls out all the stops, like I think that this somehow is gonna work to that effect. So I'm hoping, anyways. I'm trying to stay optimistic about it because it's super fucking disappointing that it's not gonna be Jon Moxley. I want to see that fucking idiot like kill everything. He is insane. I mean, and it still is working for me. I'm still, on board. I watched as much of all of his, all of the G1 and his work there. But he is, I don't know. He's definitely burned the candle at like 3 ends of the stick somehow. And here he is with a fucking staph infection. So go get fixed and come back and let's see you on TV, dummy.
All right, so final, just to make sure we're all on the same page, final guesses for this match, predictions?
Omega.
I'm going to go with Kenny.
Okay, so we're split, half and half here. All right, so let's go down the rest of the card here. Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, and Marco Stunt versus SoCal Uncensored. So they've been doing a lot of really funny stuff with Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, and the latest had Marco Stunt being walked like a dog by who was it?
John Morrison.
Is that who
Yeah,
that
John
was?
Morrison.
Oh my god. Hannigan?
Yeah, and his wife.
That's
It was so
awesome.
random. I really hope we see them show up
That's
and
awesome.
do something funny during this match at All Out.
Johnny Impact is done with Impact, right? So
Yeah.
I think he would be a complete natural fit
is,
for AEW.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good catch right there.
And that's about the only promotion on the planet that he's not been a part of yet.
That's true.
That's a pretty impressive legacy. Like him or hate him, though.
What would his name be? Johnny Elite?
Ooh.
Probably Johnny Mundo. He just
No,
go with
it's always got to
character.
relate to the
Yeah.
show. That
To
he's
the
on.
show, yeah, he'd have to be Johnny Elite.
He was Johnny Nitro when he was teamed with Eric Bischoff. He became John Morrison, then Johnny Impact, Johnny Mundo down in Lucha.
Yeah.
I guess Johnny Elite's as good a guess as we're going to get.
I'm pretty sure one of the biggest pops of the night is going to be for Jungle Boy, and I don't understand how that kid is as over as he is. I mean, I do, because his matches are awesome. They're funny as shit, too. Him and Luchasaurus are such a perfect, like...
They were made for each other.
Luke Perry's kid looks so small next to a 6'6" monster. Have you seen that dude without the mask on, too? He's a good-looking guy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. He's not like, Fabio or anything, my favorite guy, but he is, he looks
But
way
there's
too
a
good.
character all unto its own with the mask off.
Yeah, no, that's true. He fucking rules with the mask on. That mask is awesome. Masks can be cheesy very easily, and that shit looks so sick. Him with a green tongue, and I don't know, it's fucking cool, man.
Shades of Tajiri.
Yeah. No, that's a good call. I just feel like Jungle Boy should win every match that he's involved in every time. The pop for him is ridiculous, and he's really, really fun to watch.
Yeah, that last match they had at
I'm going to go, yeah.
it was Fighter Fest, right? When Marco Stunt came down.
Yeah.
That really put Jungle Boy way over for me as like a legitimately great wrestler. Like I always thought the gimmick was funny and the whole dinosaur shtick with Luchasaurus was funny, but he was taking some crazy bumps and like that dude sells on a really good level.
Yeah, he seems like he's made out of rubber, and it's really fun to watch him get tossed around. But he still has like really good athletic offense too.
I mean, he's just small. He's got the skill set and he's got the look. He's just a little dude. I feel like if he bulks up to like, he's probably around the same size as Daniel Bryan. If he continues to bulk up, like he'll be fine. And like you guys were saying, he got over super hard at the last pay-per-view. So I'm going with Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, and Marco Stunt here. I'd be shocked if they lost with how much the crowd seems to love them right now.
He is tiny. It's crazy.
The only thing though is SoCal is like a full team. Like they are a team together, whereas Marco Stunt being thrown in there is just kind of like the third man that they need. So I could see them losing because of that. And I mean, SoCal is. What are they 1-1 right now? I feel like they won 1 and lost 1. Maybe they're 2-1 or 2-0.
1-1 sounds about right, but I'm not positive.
Yes, because I believed at that point we were all like, oh, 50-50 booking, huh? Like, it's already starting to rack up, guys. Okay.
But regardless, I think with them being like a full team, it probably makes sense to give them the win.
I like that. I like that idea. I think that Jungle Boy is fucking over, and they need to have him win every match, and because he's going to be really important. He's going to be really like important for them somehow, especially with 90210, like full blown reboot happening, original cast, and all that shit, man. Everybody, I mean, my wife still is crying when she's watching Riverdale because she's like, he's gone, and I'm not trying to at all sound disrespectful about that. I realize I'm talking pretty flippantly about it, but it's. I just Luke Perry is still very much in the public eye, even though he's gone, and it's that's good for Jungle Boy, who looks a lot like his old man, except he's tiny with his fucking crazy hair.
So what are you thinking, Pat? Mike is going SoCal. Trevor and I are Jungle Boy and Friends.
Go, Jungle Boy and Friends.
Cool. I'm down with that as the new official faction name. So then we got Private Party and Angelico and Jack Evans. I don't really care who wins this
Jack
match.
Evans the wrestler or Jack Evans the politician?
The politician. I think it's going to be Private Party just because of how they're on being the Elite and all Elite's YouTube channels, and I think I've seen Angelico and Jack Evans like maybe once. I just feel like they're being pushed for that Bucks match coming up. Like, I don't care who wins because I know this tag match is going to be absolutely crazy and super entertaining, but I think like all signs point to Private Party.
That sounds like a logical guess to me. I'm as caught up as I can be with all of this, but these guys aren't on my radar very much yet, so Private Party.
Considering a politician isn't actually a wrestler, I'm probably not going to go with that team because I don't see them winning over two wrestlers.
Oh, Muff, you old so and so.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Private Party just because of how into them or how into JJ is to them. Because I mean, dude loves some Private Party, so if he's into him, then I'm sure they know.
Insightful stuff from Muff. What do you got, Pat?
I got Private Party, but more importantly, I'm looking at the Wikipedia for it's in Helico, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, okay.
It's in Helico, my bad.
At his Wikipedia, and he used to go by the ring name Backpacker Joe. And I really like that a lot.
My respect for Angelico grows. I'm sorry, I was laughing too much from that. I didn't hear you. What did you say?
I'm going to go with Private Party. They seem to be pushed pretty heavily right now.
Yeah, and we're going to get to see them wrestle the Bucks in person.
Yeah, that'll be a great match.
Oh yeah,
that's so cool.
They did a really cool story before they signed them on the YouTube channel as well. Just talking about where they came from, and they showed video from the federation that they started with that trained them. They've had like a really cool story, so I'm stoked to see.
Hey, real quick,
here.
what was the last live TV that any of you guys went to?
WrestleMania.
Mania.
No, I mean I mean TV, like a Raw or a SmackDown, like being at television where they cut to commercials, because it's a whole different thing than a pay-per-view.
True.
I know that this will be different than a WWE thing, but I mean, yeah. No, I'm just wondering, has it been? Have you guys been, or do you just go to the big shit?
It's been. I remember going. I went to Providence for SmackDown, I think right after last year's WrestleMania, because Daniel Bryan had just come back and he was still babyface. So it's been like a year and a half for me, I guess.
Okay. I went. My kind of the reason I'm asking is, it's been 22 years since I went, or 21 years since I went to.
Damn.
It was a Nitro was the last thing that I saw live.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so it'll be very cool to see AEW, but I wonder what they're gonna do with a 2-hour show as far as pacing and commercial breaks and all of that shit. I wonder how, and then how they'll do that by comparison to what WWE does, or you know what I mean?
I think they'll just do exactly what WWE does. They'll have Dana Brooke come out and cut promos about believing in yourself.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, do you think we're going to get like a pre-show that's going to be on BR Live or something before TNT?
I feel like that would be a bit much.
Yeah.
So you think it'll just be live TV? That's it.
Well,
no
no,
more
I think
they'll probably do like an hour of dark matches.
I just don't think it'll be televised anywhere. I think it'll just be dark matches.
Yeah.
Oh, before we move on to the next match, something that I feel like I've talked about with definitely Pat, but I'm not sure if I talked about it with Muff or Trevor. Golden Boy officially signed a contract with AEW, so he is now the third member of the team, along with Jim Ross and Excalibur, which, thank God, they needed that so badly.
Yeah, big time. That is a real vast improvement. Also, the news of Tony Schiavone becoming elite. And it does sound like he's going to take on some sort of a commentator, more than just a backstage, but that he will do commentary at a point.
Yeah.
Not right away.
It sounded like he might kind of like be in when Jim Ross was in WWE for the past few years, he'll come out for like certain matches kind of thing.
Why don't they flip that and have Jim Ross come out barely ever and just put Schiavone out there? Because he is so great with his level of excitement, and Jim Ross is okay to listen.
They're paying Jim Ross too much money at this point.
I know, but he's okay to listen to, and he is tough to look at. I mean, no disrespect, but
Jim
trying to watch those watching those Sean Spears segments, I'm like, good Lord, man, you have tan lines on your wrinkle parts, and you're like, your face just doesn't move.
Oh my God.
Dude, he's fucking.
Sorry, folks, we didn't know this was gonna turn into a JR shitting podcast.
Sorry, poor JR. It's just, I'd rather not. I'd rather preserve the legacy of Jim Ross instead of keep fucking dragging out his corpse week after week.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at.
I think there's still value in him. He was the voice of a generation. If people are just like kind of flipping through when they hear JR's voice, like they're going to be like, oh man, what the hell is this? And
if he can give us even half the excitement that he gave us in WWE, like in his heyday,
he had some.
It's a win.
I didn't think I would ever find myself on the side of defending JR here, but I think that he did a good job at Double or Nothing. Like when Moxley came out, he lost his mind.
Yeah,
that was a great.
Yeah, he's
moment.
been getting better. He started really rough, but that is a moment like already from AEW that sticks out in my head, and JR's voice is a part of it. So like he can still go to a degree, at least with the important stuff.
Yeah, to a degree, but again, if we all are being honest about it, he only perked up for the 3 matches that we actually gave a shit about, and the beginning of the card he didn't give a shit about, and we didn't give a shit about. You know what I mean?
But I think that comes down to he just doesn't know anything about those guys, because the matches that we gave a shit about were former WWE guys that Jim Ross has worked with, has called matches for before, and I think that's a solvable problem. I think that's just going to come with time.
And he's going to have, Golden Boy and Excalibur supporting him and, like, helping him. And, like, he'll pick up stuff off of them. And I'm sure there's going to be plenty of education happening off the air. Like, he has a good support team around him. So in those big moments, he's really going to shine. And in the in-between, until he's caught up to speed, he's going to have two really good supporting players.
No, I don't.
Well said.
I don't disagree with you. I'm still healing on JR, though. It's fine.
I've been listening to a lot of Grilling JR lately on your recommendation, Trevor.
Really?
Yes, it's great.
And it's actually
it
great,
is
yeah.
great. But that's the purpose that I think he serves. I think that show is excellent, and then the way he even described his like actual role in AEW, he's like, I don't want to have a creative role because then if it stinks, it's on me. He goes, I just want people to run ideas by me and me say like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea, or I wouldn't do that, and that way I don't get any on me. That's his whole angle
He did kind
with
of
it.
share that sentiment
Yeah,
on Austin's podcast when he did that interview. Like, he kind of talked about not wanting to be in like a higher role than the one that they kind of made up for him.
yeah.
Because then he doesn't really have all that responsibility.
Right.
He just kind of has to show up and give his insight.
Which, yeah, I think that's great.
Who doesn't want
but
that position?
ultimately, but the kind of with that is this, I don't know, just keep him off my TV. Just put Shivani, a two-man booth is also a wonderful thing. I mean, even JR himself prefers a two-man booth. So that's one of those things that seems to get a little bit clustery.
I do like New Japan's two-man booths.
Yeah, come to think of it, I mean, now that you mention it, that is like, I feel like a 3-man booth is a huge mistake, and it's just one of those WWE things where they just want to like check boxes off. I mean, cynically, I really feel like WWE's like, okay, we got the black guy, we got the woman, and we got the person that can actually do commentary. But I feel like AEW could have and probably should have gone back to a 2-man booth. Just think of all the greatest commentary teams in history. There are all 2-man booths.
Right. But that's
And really the 3-man booth, like with a 3-man booth, somebody's gonna automatically be playing that heel, somebody's gonna be playing the babyface, and then somebody's just doing like color commentary.
Yep.
And I'm kind of sick of that dynamic. Like, I really like New Japan and the way they call the matches, and they're just kind of like bouncing facts back and forth and calling the match and just like talking about the history of wrestling and going down that road, as opposed to like being so like one-sided, like, hearing Corey Graves like shit on Sasha Banks, and then Renee Young has to take Sasha Banks' side because Corey Graves is going against her.
You don't like listening to those two argue every week and
No,
not talk
I
about
don't.
the
sound like
match?
brother and sister. It is fucking so annoying.
Graves is almost such a good heel that it like ruins the entire shtick.
Yeah, they should really have him as somebody's manager. And
Yeah,
not,
yeah,
commentating
totally.
And that, if that's like the way he's gonna be.
I would be very into that because it is so distracting.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Well, and so, but I think the part of it is that it has to be a 3-man booth because Jim Ross could not, and it's not disrespect to him, but he can't carry a 2-man commentary gig at this point. He's not enough to be a half, and they definitely don't have somebody that could do the show themselves. Like, him and Mauro Ranallo could probably do the whole thing. Because he would need somebody to do 70% of the lifting.
Oh, dude,
And
Mauro
then
could
he
do the
just
whole thing
weighs in.
himself, Joey Styles style.
Well, that's what I mean. And so that's where, JR can weigh in a little bit, but they basically have a 2-man booth augmented with Jim Ross, which, for sound bites, and it is all smart. I just, I don't know. I want to see something different, and it's already leaning in like TNA level at points, and they can get away with so much shit. I think I was saying in the Slack, but that they probably have about a 6-month window of they can just fucking shit on me, and I will be like, okay, that's fine. And then after some point, I'm going to be like, well, fuck this. I'm all done. I don't need this anymore. Wrestling's supposed to be fun, and you guys are, but I don't know that, I'll just see what it is. I don't know that I would go that route as much as I'm just trying to say I have an extremely open mind, open heart for that, that wrestling organization. They can fuck up pretty bad, and I'm going to hang in there for a while.
Yeah, that's definitely an advantage that they have with a lot of wrestling fans because of like all the relationships that they built. Like the Bucks talked about it on Being the Elite, about how so many of their fans, they know their families, they know their names, they have people that have been seeing them for like 10 or 12 years straight, and that is, that's pretty serious. Like WWE doesn't have that because they don't have the opportunity for those meet and greets. Like that's a different type of loyalty, but we'll see. So moving on back to the card here, we got Riho versus Hikaru Shida. I don't know Shida, but I do know Riho, and the first time I saw her, I was like, oh, whatever, and then she totally blew me away. So I have no idea who's going to win this match, but I fully expect it to be awesome.
Yep, same. Unfortunately, I don't have much good to offer on that one. But
that's, I mean, it's fine though, because like that's what these shows are for. Like we're just getting to know these people, and obviously we're not going to know everybody, especially the people that are coming from like Japan and stuff.
Well, and I keep looking at this card, and there, two names that are not on it that I was, would hope.
Oh no, you know Hikaru Shida. She was that, I don't know if it was an AEW match or if it was a New Japan match, but she's like that badass Japanese woman. She's like really pretty, but like,
I know who she. Yes, I do remember who she is. No, I'm saying two names that aren't on this card though: Sammy Guevara and MJF. That I'm like, I like that they left those kinds of guys off because I want to see them, and it's not going to be on every show, and it's making room for other people because they have to have more depth than just the 7 people that I really really want to watch. But that was just kind of my thought that I keep looking at this. I'm like, there's no MJF. He should be on everything all the time.
He'll get like a promo spot or something.
Of course he will. He'll force his way. He deserves it. I can't believe that kid's 23 years old. I'm very excited about the potential. Can you imagine MJF and Velveteen Dream? I mean, I know we won't, but good Lord.
Well, I mean, MJF, like you said, he's young enough that I wouldn't be surprised if when his contract runs up, if he's really made that much of a mark, that WWE offers him a really big contract, and he's obviously going to take it.
Yeah.
All right. So then we got the 21-woman Casino Battle Royale. They only have, I think, around 10 or 11 people signed, but there is, I think, online a list of 15 plus people that are officially in this. So I'm going to go with Nyla Rose. And then I'm picturing her in the championship match. The winner of this gets a shot at the championship match.
I am going to cynically go with this being a TNA move of WWE of them.
Brandy Rhodes.
No, and that they're going to push Piper's daughter.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
Because they put just enough shine on her, and I mean, we all love Rowdy Piper and Rowdy Piper. I feel like it would be nice for his legacy to get brought back around too, because Ronda Rousey's appropriation of Rowdy Piper,
yeah.
Roddy Piper,
and his jacket.
Yeah, and I mean even the logo is that has been obnoxious to me. The same as Kevin Owens having the stunner, the same as any of that stuff.
The thing though with Ronda taking it though, I would rather something like that than the legacy person taking the gimmick. You know what I mean? How just kind of everybody that's been a generation
and
after
that doesn't bother
Bret
me
Hart
because,
is
because Piper actually gave that stuff to her, and he said he bestowed it upon her.
Yeah. As opposed to just his daughter taking it and making it.
But
yes.
Yeah, as far as this match goes, I mean, Teal Piper is such an unproven commodity. We don't even know if she can wrestle. Yeah,
she just started training.
I don't think she's gonna win. I do think she'll probably be showcased quite a bit here, but I think JJ's right. I think Nyla Rose is gonna be the kind of one of the cornerstones of the division. Although one thing that does give me pause is that Awesome Kong was announced for it too a couple days ago. So I could totally see them using her to build the division around a proven veteran like that, and then. The inevitable Kong versus Nyla Rose match would be this great kind of battle of the two behemoths.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the other
that's hard to pass up.
The other thought though is that somehow Brandy Rhodes wins, and that it is a whole obnoxious. Are you a babyface heel? Are you the authority? Because she is towing the Stephanie McMahon line the hardest of anybody. She seems to be kind of playing.
Yeah, and that is not a line that you want to
No,
tell.
no.
Stay away from that line.
Because I think we all love Brandy Rhodes. She's one of the prettiest women in all of professional wrestling. She is a badass. She loves her husband and is fun. Like I was saying earlier, her promo that she cut on the road to All Out on episode 6 was awesome. It was really, really good. Just like, cutting down Sean Spears and like swearing just enough, but that it was serious. She's saying, he's goddamn.
Yeah,
it was
great.
really good, man. But.
So is that your pick?
Yes. Pat changed my mind about. I didn't realize that Piper's daughter's only just started training, so I'm going to go with Brandy Rhodes as the authority heel figure.
All right, I got Nyla. Pat, who did you have?
I'm gonna go Nyla.
Muff.
I'm Kong.
Okay. So we have Darby Allin, Joey Janela, and Jimmy Havoc in a Cracker Barrel clash.
What does this even mean?
So it means that the Cracker Barrel is one of their sponsors, and they're going to like hit each other with giant Cracker Barrel.
Is it just going to be in the corner
barrels? I expect it to be a hilarious and brutal match, and Darby Allin will do that disgusting backdrop again and inevitably win. I don't see any chance in hell that Jimmy Havoc or Joey Janela walks out of this with a W, but I fully again expect to be entertained as these guys beat the shit out of each other.
I feel like I'm gonna get grossed out by this match. I don't know that they're gonna get. Yeah, Joey Janela is fucking brutal. He's just like, in like almost like a Mick Foley sort of way, brutal.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that this is the match that has like a corporate sponsorship. Because it's gonna be, like,
bloodbath.
Borderline shouldn't even be televised.
Yeah, I agree with Darby Allin. I think he's the one.
Yep, same.
Muff.
Darby Allin.
So then we got Cody and Sean Spears with Tully Blanchard. So Cody is coming down to the ring with someone. They haven't said who yet. My guess for this, I said on a previous episode, is Arn Anderson. So yeah, I think
I love that.
I think it'll just be his dog.
I love that too.
He's already done that
would be such a dick move though. Like, and which would kind of go with the idea or the way that they played that shit where they were waiting to do the signing and Sean Spears is getting all worked up and he's like, they show him calling and going to voicemail and all this stuff. And when Cody shows up, he walks in, signs the thing and walks out. I was like, what a dick. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So Cody,
awesome.
yeah.
This one I have a little trouble with because it's hard to picture Sean Spears beating Cody, but at the same time, you can tell that they're trying to get the audience to take Sean Spears seriously. So I feel like if that's going to happen, he has to win.
Yeah. And this could be another one of those, like, him, like, wanting to take one for the team and, put the guy
him
over
being
just 'cause
Cody,
he's
pronouns,
in
pal.
charge and...
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, you're right.
Because, I think the bigger question is, what does Sean Spears do after this if he loses? What's his next move? Cody Rhodes is still going to be executive vice, whatever, He's still going to be Cody Rhodes. He's still going to be one of the five people that made AEW. So, I'm pretty sure Sean Spears is going to fucking brutalize Cody Rhodes, and this might actually be a pretty brutal match. I don't know. I will most enjoy watching Dana watch this match. Because Dana, the number 10 fan of Sean Spears. So... yeah, that'll be the best, but yeah, Sean Spears is going to win.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go Spears as well.
Spears
all the way. Which is kind of crazy, but I think that the logic that you guys just laid out is pretty ironclad, and Cody won his first pay-per-view match, so he's 1-0, right?
50-50.
So, yeah, he can afford the loss, and Sean Spears cannot.
Yeah, Pat, who do you think is going to be Cody's partner?
I think Arn Anderson is the perfect call. Once JJ said that, I don't think there's any other option. My first gut reaction was just Dustin Rhodes, but I feel like that would be boring compared to Arn.
It would be super boring.
There wouldn't be much of a surprise moment.
Right, and with Tully and Sean Spears' side, I don't think there's any other option but Arn.
Well, and Arn Anderson all the timing of his contract with WWE and non-compete, like all of that shit is all clear. He is available to do this, right?
Right. Yeah, the stars align.
Yeah,
for
so
this.
God, I fucking hope so. That'll be crazy old school fun. And I bet you those two, Cody and Shawn Spears, are gonna put on a kick-ass old school match.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. I think they're going to beat the shit out of each other.
Well, the next one is the one that I'm most bummed out to talk about, unfortunately.
Well, don't be, because I know why you are. It's Lucha Brothers versus Young Bucks, and I read a report today, and, there's reports, so we don't know it for certain, but the report I read today said that Phoenix is going to be fine and will be nearly 100% for this match.
What was his injury again?
A knee thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, from what I read, and again, it's the internet, so it could be 100% bullshit that some fan wrote. But from what I read, they said it was just a light sprain, and he's going to be fine.
Sweet. Because watching the Bucks hype up that, like, this is going to be the sickest, like, oh, have you never seen Nick in in a ladder match? Like, he gets crazy. Like, oh man, that they want to come the hardest of their career in this ladder match with these dudes. Like, this could be some sort of Dave Meltzer's like, oh, this is a 7-star match.
I mean, yeah, this does have the potential to completely break.
The idea,
if they just.
If one of the Lucha Brothers was grounded with a bum knee, it's basically like. It's basically when Triple H fucking tore his pec like 3 seconds into that Saudi match and then Shawn Michaels had to carry him the whole time.
Shawn Michaels carried a match in 2018.
Jesus Christ.
Man.
Bald.
Let's not talk
I know,
about
sorry.
that.
You can put quotes around that carried too.
Yeah.
Well, hey, he was the only good part about that match, but
Yeah,
I digress. In this situation, there's still 3 world-class, like, crazy fucking wrestlers. So even if one of them's not 100%, and this is all just hearsay anyway, so I'm not really going into this in any kind of sour mood. I'm expecting this to be insane.
What I find interesting about this is after the Bucks dropped the titles to the Lucha Brothers in Mexico, I was like, okay, that's done. Since we're in AEW, it's going to be about the AEW titles. But this is another title match for the AAA titles. So
yeah, that is interesting. I think it's probably just because there is no tag title for AEW yet. But it does seem like they have a pretty decent working relationship with AAA, so maybe they just want to continue that.
It would be weird for the Bucks to lose 2 matches in a row on this scale at their pay-per-view, but it would also be weird to me for them to carry a different company's belts into their TV tapings. So I feel like they have to lose.
But the Lucha Brothers also need a win because I think they are like 1-1 as well. And this is a team that I feel like they need to position the Lucha Brothers as like the tag team of the division. If they're going to be the team that like goes up against the Young Bucks, like they need to be winning like all of the time. The only caveat though is with Phoenix having a potentially injured knee, they can play into that, and that's their out right there for the Young Bucks to win.
No, that's actually a good point. Are the Lucha Brothers, they are signed to All Elite Wrestling?
I don't know that they are.
They're signed individually, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to check on that, but
They were some of the first announced when they did like that first
I thought so.
Like handful of people.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's a really smart move considering the corporate juggernaut that the WWE is. It's smart for this little guy to be buddies with AAA little guy, to be buddies with New Japan little guy. So they can all work together, and, it's the only way that you're going to even compete with the monster.
Yeah, but we already have matches announced with regards to the tag tournament. So, I said, I don't think it makes any sense for the Bucks to carry around belts for a different company, so I think they have to lose.
Yeah, that kind of telegraphs my decision as well. I'm with you on that one, Lucha Brothers. And possibly a 7-star match.
Ditto.
So everyone was Lucha Brothers on that one. So then we got the Best Friends versus the Dark Order. So that's Chucky Taylor and Trent Beretta versus Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. Like, what a silly name.
I'm not Stu.
Dude,
Not Tommy.
I fucking love the Dark Order. I don't understand why, and I fucking love it. It's like the weirdest, like, it seems like almost a lazy gimmick, and it's fucking awesome. Evil Uno is, like, he's fucking good. And he looks like shit. He looks like a sloppy asshole in a BDSM mask.
Yeah, it's just like an old school gimmick. They got over with me hard at
Yeah,
Fyter
man.
Fest. I didn't think I would care.
Well,
at
and when
all,
the 15
but-
guys make a fucking throne for him to sit on, like, it's such a
That was
pretty
that
sick.
sold me.
it's
That
such
was
a
really
sick
good.
visual. It's very, very cool. I best friends are super funny. They're also, morons. I'm going for the Dark Order. I want to watch those dudes fucking scare me. I mean, they're almost, they're just kind of like a believable level. Like, it's creepy. It's weird. It's not supernatural. It's just creepy.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going with the Dark Order. The first time I saw them, I was like, these guys look like complete idiots. Like, this is who AEW is investing in. And then by the end of the segment, I was like, oh, I was 100% wrong. They're awesome.
Yeah. So, Muff.
Yeah, I'm Dark Order too. Can't argue with any of that.
Yeah.
All right. So it comes down to this. Will Adam Page beat one of the greatest wrestlers in the history of the business and be AEW's first world champion, or will Jericho continue his legacy of being at the top of every company he's in?
I'm so conflicted by this.
Can I make a quick and immediate hot take?
Please do.
This is Bizarro World. Chris Jericho is the heel, and Adam Page... No, Chris Jericho is the baby face, and Adam Page is the heel because he grew up on a tobacco farm, and tobacco kills. I think... He said, what am I going to do if I lose this? Go back to the tobacco farm? Fuck you, dude. Stop fucking farming tobacco. It's literally a useless drug that only kills people. What a dipshit. I don't know. Adam Page is like, the more that he talks, the more I'm like, you are fucking less than vanilla. I don't want him to win. Him getting all fired up and stuff, I'm like, he's lost me. This whole thing should have happened 3 months ago if it was gonna for him, but Adam Page is useless to me. Chris Jericho.
What do you think it is with Hangman? Like, why is he in the position that he is? Is it just because
think
he's
just a good-looking dude.
No, I think it's that I think a couple of people, put him over and gave him the rub. Like, I know Steve Austin spoke highly of him. He was like, I really like his work, and I think just a couple things like that. I mean, he is fine. I enjoyed him with Colt Cabana. Well, I listened to him for an hour talking about growing up on the farm and all that stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, I like this guy's story and all of that, and he's just lost me. And maybe it's the fact that he's surrounded by all of the charisma of the actual elite. You know what I mean? Like
It's like a Porsche being surrounded by a bunch of Ferraris.
Yeah, kind of. I think, but he also is just like
You may have offended somebody, JJ.
he screams mid-card, and he does not look like he deserves that belt to be on him. I don't know. His hair annoys me.
I mean, I saw him on the Indies, and he's this big dude with a
Is
good
he
look.
big?
And when I first saw him, yeah, he's big.
He looks small, yeah.
And when I first saw him with the bandana around his face, like marching down to the ring, I was like, this dude looks like a badass. Like, he looks menacing. But then he starts talking, and he's just like so like nice and soft spoken. It's just like what comes out of his mouth, like the contents of the package don't match the wrapping.
And he
for me.
wears a bolo tie as a shoot. Like, stop wearing a bolo
And he
tie.
wants to. I do think it is funny though how they keep talking about how upset he is that he can't ride a horse an actual horse to the ring. That is popping me.
Why can't he?
Insurance reasons. But his latest promo with Jim Ross was pretty good. It just doesn't say to me like this is the guy.
And ultimately, like, Chris Jericho is like one of the best in the world of all time. Like, if he's not on your top 5, like, he's probably on your top 10.
Yeah.
And he just has so much legacy behind him, and to put him as their first champion, like that, to me, just like that move solidifies the company. And I know, like, there's a lot of talk about putting like the young guy over and wanting to make this young, good looking guy like your first champion. And like, he's going to kick off this new brand. But like, to give it to a vet like Jericho, Like, it just makes so much sense in my eyes.
Yeah. Chris Jericho has spent the past 20 years being such a star fucker and making friends with so many famous people. He actually made a #1 album on whatever, obscure charts or whatever, but like that fucking Fozzy record, Judas, did pretty well. And he has a lot of, like, he's very famous. He's exceptionally accomplished, in the ring and all over the world. I mean, his shit when I moved, I found my my eBay Jericho VHS tapes of him in Mexico and Japan from before WCW that I bought in like 1999 off of eBay. Yeah, it's pretty fucking rad. They still work. But he has undergone so many transformations. He would be a perfect champion if he doesn't fuck it up. And I am in this weird position with Chris Jericho has easily been a quick response, my favorite wrestler of all time. I love him. I've loved him since the Lionheart. As soon as he threw the first tantrum and smashed smash a tuxedo with a chair? Smashed the ring post. Like, when he started throwing his tantrums, and it was just like, what is this asshole about? And
the whole conspiracy.
Oh, I loved it. And his horror. I hate. I was a Nirvana guy in high school, so Pearl Jam annoyed me, but I liked him despite the fact that his song was Even Flow, like a shitty version of Even Flow, because WCW was the worst at that. I hated Diamond Dallas Page because his song was Nirvana backwards. Like, his song was Smells Like Teen Spirit, but the chords were backwards. I'm like, fuck you, I hate you, Diamond Dallas Page. You're the worst. Your finisher's not even the stunner. You're the worst.
Yeah. Put it this way for Jericho. He was a major player the last time that TNT had a pro wrestling show 20 years ago. So that just shows the staying power that this guy has. And yeah, like, I'm totally with you guys. I think it's just best for business if they put the world title on a proven commodity like Chris Jericho. And I could see if it was an up and comer who had a lot more hype than Hangman Page, but I just don't get it with Adam Page personally. I don't see it. I think Chris Jericho makes way more sense to bring this company into the national spotlight going into the TNT show.
But at the same time, his current gimmick stinks.
I don't know. I just get hung up because, like, they're talking about, like, in promos, in being the elite, in All Elite Wrestling, like Road to All Out, like, they're talking about how everyone is saying Jericho is the obvious choice and Jericho is going to win and Adam Page has no chance. So it makes me nervous that they're going to go with him. And, like, he's a new young star, so, like, of course I want him to succeed because, like, that's what you need for wrestling to stay healthy and grow and continue. But I don't see that spark with him at all, but I'm kind of nervous that they see something that we don't and they're going to put it on him.
That's such a good observation that bums me out so much. And thinking about us being at that AEW TV, and when Hangman Page comes out with the belt on him, my pop will be like a third what it would be for Jericho. I'm like, oh. You know what I mean? Like, I already don't give a shit about him as being the first ever champion. Oh man, that can't be. It would be terrible. And this is all coming from somebody. My point about putting Jericho over is that he is losing me. These past like 6 months, I've really been starting to get really turned off to Chris Jericho between his podcast and his. I like the thank you bit, but I also don't like the thank you bit because he does sound like. What was the, Grizzled Old Vet? Is that the song that the Good Brothers would sing on the, yeah. He's starting to just sound like a whiny old guy who is, like, legitimately out of touch. And, I mean, he's 48. He's allowed to be out of touch. But he's turning me off personally, and I fear that if he is the champion and then is just, like, a total fucking dad about it, that it would be also a real turnoff. But Adam Page sucks, so I hope Chris Jericho wins regardless.
All right, yeah, I want Jericho to win, but I think I'm going to go with Adam Page wins.
Hot take.
Gonna have to go Jericho. The obvious thing being Jericho makes everybody want to think it's gonna be Adam Page, which is why it's gonna be Jericho.
I hope you're right, Mike.
It will
man.
actually be more surprising.
Double
at that point.
reverse.
I really hope
double
you're
reverse
right.
psychology. I like it. All right. Well. So were we split?
Well, Trevor, what did you say?
Oh, Jericho. Yeah.
And Pat?
Yeah, Jericho.
Yeah, I'm the only one that guessed Paige, so it's actually 3-1 on
right.
that one. All right. Well, that will do it. We got the whole card in. So we are going to be watching All Out this Saturday. And on Friday next week, you'll hear our review. So thanks for listening, guys. Trevor, it was a year too long, my friend. Thank you for being on the show. It was
Thanks for
great.
having me, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, everybody. You know where you can find us, but I'm going to tell you anyways. AiPTcomics.com, where in addition to all sorts of wrestling news and our reviews of the show, you're going to find the most comic reviews anywhere every Wednesday, in addition to television reviews, comics and movie news, cosplay, video games, pretty much anything nerdy and pop culture. We got it. You can listen to us live tweet this show on Saturday by following us on Twitter at AiPT Wrestling, and you can find all of us back here every Friday. And to help us out, please leave us a 5-star review and share the show with your friends. It is a big boon for the show, and we do really appreciate it. So as always, I will leave you with wrestling rules, fuck the world, and party hard.
Shout out to Baby Hook.
He's history, and as far as Bischoff goes, I'm gonna eat his ass off. Get it done!